Hey guys, I'm Kent and welcome to my channel. So today I've got another product from Kemimoto to lower the 2022 Honda Grom. I've actually never lowered a Honda Grom. I've got a lot of friends that have that stretched and lowered look, and some people that lower the Grom so that they can have more standover height if they're a bit vertically challenged. I've got thoughts on lowering the Grom for that reason, and I'll go into my thoughts in this video as well. And like a lot of the other Kemimoto products that I've tried out on this channel, I'm actually going to be giving this away, so stick around until the end of the video if you're interested in how you can win this kit. Before we get this installed, I think shorter riders should try riding the bike with the standard suspension setup. My wife, she's 5'4", and while she can only get the balls of her feet down, that's really all that you need to be able to do to have good stability on the bike. Honestly, you could be even shorter than that, and at a stop sign or a stoplight, lean the bike over and just have one good foot planted and then bring it up as you take off. But on my Ducati, for instance, I also can only get the balls of my feet down, and I feel plenty comfortable riding that bike around. So I would really try riding the bike before considering lowering it, just because it also affects the overall geometry of the bike. So if you lower the rear, you also really need to take down the front, because lowering the rear and having it higher in the front is going to slow your steering rate quite a bit. And actually the inverse exists too, that if you lower the front, not the back, the suspension and steering gets really twitchy. So you want to keep that neutral balance on the bike. So if you lower the back, you do need to lower the front, but you're never going to have that geometry as perfect as it is from the factory. So that's my thoughts there. But again, a lot of people that are lowering the bike are doing it for the look. And I actually am curious to see how this looks and what kind of ground clearance. I believe this is a 2.5-inch lower. I'll confirm that here in a bit, but let's go ahead and open this up. This is going to be a really simple install because all we're really doing is adding a lowering link in between the end of the suspension and where it meets the swing arm right down here. So in the kit are a few really beefy stainless steel bolts and a couple of washers. The actual lowering link looks like 2 halves of this mechanism. And the instruction kit, which looks as simple as I assumed that it would. So to do this, I need to actually get the weight off of the back wheel. I can't just put it up on a rear stand like I would for other maintenance on the back of the bike, because I need to have no weight on the suspension itself. So I have these storage racks in my garage that I'm going to suspend it from. You could also use a ladder to suspend it, similar to the way that I'm going to do it. And that is take off the seat. There's a couple of hooks that'll use some straps and a ratchet strap to get it in the air. All right, so I have that just floating. Let me bring up the camera close and show you where my mounting points were. I just have these 2 handlebar straps that are anchored on these little loops. And then again, I just have it mounted to the storage rack here, but I actually tried it out. You could use a ladder. It's just a little less convenient because then you don't have as much working space on the sides, but there's different options for taking the weight off the back of the bike. We have that out, and we'll replace it with these pieces. So this little spacer goes in between the 2 points just as a little bit of added support, since we're going to be torquing it down and there won't be a shock in that space any longer. And so it'll just be one side, the spacer, the other side, and then we'll be connecting the shock to this point, and we'll have spacers down here on the bottom point. And then a washer nut. And then we do the same thing for the lower mounting hole, the included hardware where it's a bolt, the spacer, washer nut. And then the shock will mount through this top hole, which will require me to lift the swing arm up a bit because the bike is now going to be effectively that much lower. And then also using the included hardware. This one doesn't have a spacer in the middle because the spacer is the shock itself. And that's it. Let me show you a little closer how it looks. There's not too much clearance between the spacer and the rear tire, but there is enough space. There's not going to be any movement between there, so as long as there's some clearance, that should be fine. So this actually looks pretty cool. If I were going to keep this bike lowered, I would also move the fork legs up just a little bit through the triple tree to balance it out, but I like the more stout profile that the bike has now that we've lowered it just a bit with this lowering link. Anyway, the installation was extremely simple, and if this is a look that you're going for, or if you really do need that additional standover height, this is an easy way to achieve that. I'll actually link to this product in the description below, and for a limited time, I think for a couple of weeks after this video comes up, there'll be a discount code in the description as well if you're interested in picking one up. Let me get the bike outside, and also I'll get my wife on it to compare how much more standover height and how close to flat foot she can get now that we brought the bike down a little bit with this kit. All right, so as you can see after the lowering link installation, her feet are much closer to being flat, still not completely flat, but quite a bit closer. So a big thank you to Kemimoto for letting me try out this lowering link. I think it's a cool looking solution if, again, you're trying to get a little more standover height, or if you're going for this particular look. Again, I recommend that in both cases though, you do some lowering on the front suspension as well. What's up, man? You're in the video now, I'll keep you in. See ya. But yeah, the front suspension, again, you want to also bring it down either by bringing the fork tubes through the triple tree a little bit, which I think you have some room to do. Racing Bros also makes a solution where it has a much shorter fork tube if you're trying to go more drastically down. But I will link in the description below to this product if you'd like to pick it up. And I'll be giving away this actual lowering link. So if you're interested in winning it, please leave a comment below this week. Let's see, by Friday, February 3rd, and then I'll do a drawing for a random comment on that Saturday. So please get that in. Thank you again to Kemimoto for letting me try this product out. Thank you everybody for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and keep on building.